My people, everywhere scatter in the areas of today. Everywhere burst in the areas today in the ASO ROCK chambers, my people. A whole lot is happening in the political zone. You will see what is actually happening in Nigeria presently. The whole Nigerians are fuming at the present situation of the country with what Senator Ningi has actually exposed in the chambers here today. And you will see some of the senators were actually begging Akpabio in this video. I will show you everything in toto in this video. Akpabio is one of the problems we have in this country. In most of the previous videos I have released on this channel, you will see I've been talking mostly about Akpabio. Akpabio is one of those senators or one of the politicians in Nigeria that needs to leave the chambers, that need to leave the administration or anything that has to do with politics in Nigeria, because this man has not in any way contributed anything positive to the better growth of this country, my people. Stick to this video as I'll be showing you some of the amazing things that this man said in this video. He is even ready for suspension. This man said a lot of things about all other senators that have been suspended and known that is not known to anybody, my people. Share this video to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it for us. We'll be right back shortly.
Welcome back to Lambast TV show.
The home of crime scene.
It's happening in the street again.
The center of political news, celebrity gossip, religious gossip, and happenings in the society.
Join us, the voice of Africa.
Welcome you to ASO ROCK TV show, where we bring you political, celebrity, and religious gossip. If you have not yet subscribed to this channel, do well to click the red subscription button and don't forget to click the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you anytime we drop another trendy video. My people, a lot is happening in the political zone. Everybody is surprised and they are actually fuming at this present situation that is going on in the ASO ROCK chambers. You could see that Senator Ningi does not have any fear in him, as at the time he was actually saying all these things at the chambers today. And you said Akpabio was actually gazing at him directly, thinking of the penalty that is going to set for this man, because I see if you should check this man very well in this video with the way he's actually making this analysis, he has already prepared himself before coming to this chamber to say all these things that he's actually saying there. And you see that Akpabio is just gazing at him, checking what he's going to do. And you see one of the senators was actually begging Akpabio just because of the power he has in the chamber as the Senate president. And you will see that after this, as at the time this man was actually making this exposure in this video, he actually made mention of some senators that has already been suspended that is known to nobody in this country, my people. There are a lot of shenanigans that is going on there, even to the point that this Senator Ningi was actually talking about the bonuses and the salaries and the money that enters into the Senate president's pocket. Nobody knows about it, but he knows every single money that is actually entering into the hands of everybody in the chamber. Well, I see that as the reason why this man is actually blowing out in this chamber is just because it seems as if they've actually tried to push the fault of everything. They have actually tried to push some of the things that is actually going on. They are trying to tie him up. They are trying to tie his hand behind him. That's the reason why he's actually blowing so hot in this video. You see every single thing that he actually said about the allocation and the money and everything that is being allocated to some states, while some states are getting a large share of the money, while some states are actually taking a very little money out of the money that they've already arranged that will be shared to every district in this country. And you see that this man actually made every explanation in this video. I will continue to say, had it been Peter Obi even became the president of this country, let's just try and reframe, let's just try and sit down and think about it. What if Peter Obi became the president of this country, and these are the set of people that we find in our chamber? That shows that every single thing that Peter Obi will try to do as the president of this country, it will not be seen by us. At this present moment, Nigerians will already be cursing and be lamenting about the present situation of the country. That's if Peter Obi was to be our president, because I'm very sure that if Peter Obi should be the president today, we are not going to see anything with this kind of set of people, the chambers here in this country. And okay, if Akpabio is not even the Senate president, what if we have somebody that's even more worse than Akpabio as the Senate president? With the past record of Akpabio, there's no reason why Akpabio should be the Senate president of this country. A person that has a criminal record, all the shenanigans that he has done in the past, and is now the Senate president of this country. What more are we expecting from him, if not all these shenanigans that is actually perpetrated? With this video, it shows that it's a game over for Akpabio. It's a very big game over for Akpabio, because this news is everywhere in this country. It's everywhere in the country with this pardoning and all this kind of corruption that they were about to do, that this senator actually exposed in this video. Before I will show you this main video, there is another group in this video that is talking about the reconstruction of Nigeria system presently. That Nigeria is dead. The system in the country is dead. The economy and everything that has to do with the growth of the country is dead. That what is the essence of President Bola Ahmed TINUBU being the president? Because way before he became the president, he talked really about the reconstruction of the Nigeria system. That why is Nigeria still like this at this present moment, my people? I will show you the video, and after the video I will show you what Senator Ningi say and all the reaction of the senators in the chambers, my people. Stay connected to this video, and after the video we wrap up.
The truth is that Nigeria is dead. We are only pretending about it. Good enough, Tinubu before now was one of the strong advocates of restructuring. But what does restructuring mean? It simply means reduction of the powers at the center. If you don't reduce the powers at the center and send it a little bit to the regions for them to manage, you're wasting time with restructuring. This attempt at amending or altering the constitution is the 6th attempt. When we were in the House of Reps, we didn't have the privilege of doing one. I was in 2.3 to 2.7 set. But ever since, we have had 5 attempts. And it will become a 4-yearly ritual unless we do something dramatic with this one. There is this impression that is being created as if there are states that are not rich. Every state in Nigeria is rich. Mention the state and I'll tell you how rich they are. There is this assumption that we must all depend on oil. So many states don't need the oil from the Niger Delta. There are states that don't have oil, but they have so much gas. And they are not even tapping into their gas. Several others have different minerals in their area. It is high time we let every state know that they are rich. Even there are people who are more brilliant than the others, they don't even need any mineral, they will still survive. So every state in Nigeria is rich. I will share a little experience I had with Fashola when he was governor. We went to him, we had a meeting. He told us how he had prepared a paper forwarding to Yaradua on the responsibilities that have been put on the exclusive legislative list of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And he said, Mr. President, you can't do this all. Cut out most of this and return them back to the regions. For example, the federal government is still involved in the ownership of secondary school. What is the business of federal government owning a federal government college? If not to have selected schools that they will fund, which they will put for selected individuals in Nigeria. Everything about ownership of secondary schools should revert to the regions. Federal government has no business in it. So the big question we must ask ourselves is, will Tinubu be prepared to allow for a reduction of his power at the center and allow for a good amount of it to go to the federating units? That is one. If he doesn't, he will leave power and he will start crying like all the other people who have left power and are crying today. It doesn't matter how much money you steal. When you leave office, that your money will reduce to nothing. You'll find out that you're struggling. Many of the people who left as governors can't even give you 50, can't even find 50 million for themselves. So let us take advantage of this situation once for all and begin to move the country forward. Because presently this National Assembly has already started restructuring without knowing that what they are doing is restructuring. They have passed Southeast Development Commission, Southwest Development Commission, North Central Development Commission, Northeast Development Commission. That is restructuring in a very cosmetic way. How can you be creating commission for all the regions when you are pretending to be running government at the center? You can't run it from the center.
President, my name is Senator ABDUL INGI and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State, and of course a member of the Appropriation Committee of the Senate. Mr. President, from the onset, let me concur to about 80% of the translation read out by Senator Yai. I think they have done a fair job, except on some issues that they could not understand. First, I have never said somebody was blinded. Secondly, I have never said the budget was funded. Mr. Chairman, the beginning of this brouhaha started with this text, and by your leave, I will read. For the first time in Nigerian history today, we are operating two different budgets. One budget approved by the National Assembly, signed by President Bola Tinubu, and one signed and one implemented by the presidency. The one approved by us is 25 trillion, while the one operating by the government is 28 trillion. Apparently, we discovered 3 trillion was inserted into the budget without location. And this is the highest budget pattern happening in Nigeria. History under Senator AKPABIO, taking place under the watchful eyes of Senator AKPABIO. We resolve as people representing to see Bola Ahmed TINUBU on this issue with facts and figures, to ask him if he's aware with this embarrassment or not. Then from there, we will take action. Let Nigerians be patient with us. This is a national issue. It affects Nigeria, irrespective of party, tribe, or religion. And Senator ABDUL INGI, Chairman, Northern Senators Forum, is purported to be the author of this document, of this. Let me, for the avoidance of doubt, I have never issued out a statement of this nature to anybody, anywhere, and anytime. And I want members of this Senate to record it. This is a fake contribution that was forwarded. I do not know the author of this. Having listened to the author version read out by Senator Yang, have you discovered any of this proposition? No. You have discovered one issue that pertains to the budget, and that is the issue of 28 trillion versus 25 trillion. I have said that. And I said, if you are listening to him clearly, that we had passed a budget of 28 trillion, and we have discovered location. That's what I said. Please. Can you listen to me? And I said, in between the 28 point something trillion and the 25 trillion, we have discovered that there is no nexus. Nexus means there is no amount of money to a location. There is no amount of money to a location. And I said, work is in progress. Mr. Chairman, you recalled last Tuesday, myself and Kawu saw you up there, and that we wanted to have an audience with you. And you gave us the grace to see you. We wanted Wednesday, you said no Thursday. And we met. The National Assembly, the Northern Senators Forum met on a Tuesday with a copy of our findings, which is here before us. And the only person who has the copy is myself. When we met as a forum, no one has seen what is in these copies. What we did, we read out what was discovered and which we felt was disturbing. Subsequently, therefore, we made a visit to your place. Even as we visited your place, we gave you a summary of what we think happened. And we told you we are almost 80% completion. I tried to run down some of the figures to you, and you listen attentively. At the end of the proceedings, you also said, part of the problem we have is the way the budget was brought, and there was no time for the full rigors of budgetary provision. We said we can understand that. However, I told you, Mr. President, that these 2 copies with me, we have about 21 additional copies that will make it you. And I told Ministerial and Cow that on a Monday, the leadership of the forum will take the complete copies of our findings to you. On a Friday, Mr. President, my attention was called to this particular forward submission. And we chatted. Myself, Senator Dab, Senator Karimi, Senator Medoki. And they showed their anger about this particular statement. And I said, listen to the Hausa version. In the Hausa version, did you hear me mention Akpabio's name? Did you hear me mention Padin? Even the one that was read out, there was no. So I went to Sokoto and quickly came back to Abuja. As I was arriving in Abuja, here you have a presidential spokesman response. Not on the interview I granted, but on this particular version that I said the president is implementing budget. That I said the president does not like the North. That I said the president does not care about the North. And therefore, because of the filthy nature that the national media took it, I rushed this assembly and countered with documentary evidence what was said here and what I said. Mr. President, if you had listened, all your agents have listened to the Arise interview and the correspondence chapel interview, I said categorically, the president's powers stopped as a proposal, as he proposed the budget. And I said, there is no way the National Assembly will add anything on the budget and it becomes padding. The tapes are there. I said the National Assemblies have powers, and you cannot call that powers padding. And I said I'm very grateful to the presidential spokesman who, encountering me, said the National Assembly added 1.27 trillion. And I was very clear. I was not aware of the addition. I was not even aware, as I'm seated here, of the full budget of the National Assembly. Mr. President, please, can you allow me to, Mr. President, perusing through the budget, First, we discover some bogus anomalies of repetition. We discovered some senatorial districts in this particular document. Some senatorial districts have up to 120 billion, and my senatorial district has just 2 billion. Mr. President, yes. Mr. President, in this budget that Yari presented to you, I have facts, constituency by constituency. Some 120 billion, some 50 billion, some 30 billion. Mr. President, some have less than 1 billion. Mr. President, as I speak to you, Mr. President, as I speak to you, I do not know your take-home pay. You know my own. I do not know the take-home pay of any of the principal officers. Mr. President, as I speak, I know within the budgetary provisions, you made available funds for purchase of cars. Mr. President, I don't know how much was spent on your cars and the other principal officers. I know how much was spent on individuals, senators' cars. And as I speak to you here, standing, people are calling me names. I do not receive a single car. All within the budget provisions, Mr. Chairman. All within the budget provisions. I have as a matter of fact, I have 5 eggs, just like every member of the House of Representatives has 5. Mr. President, I do not know the number of your eggs. I do not know the number of the eggs of the Deputy Senate President. You allow me to speculate, and therefore everything that is in the budget is my concern. Finally, Mr. President, Mr. President, in the course of
Now, my people, you could see from the video where that man was talking about Tinubu being one of those people that was advocating for the reconstruction of Nigeria system, and this actually shows that a lot of people aside the Yorubas, with the way most people were actually talking about Yorubas being the only people that actually voted for Tinubu, there are a lot of people outside the Yoruba tribe that actually voted for Tinubu just because of the things that he actually said way before becoming or contesting for the presidential position. You see that a lot of people actually saw that this man has the potential to bring Nigeria to a better place, but at the end of the day, some of the things that he's actually doing now presently is actually shocking most of those supporters. Then you check the likes of Asari Dokubo that is actually lamenting about what President Bola Ahmed TINUBU is actually doing presently, and you could see that man made some statements and actually made some analysis there that there are a lot of states in Nigeria that is actually very, very rich on its own, aside the mineral that all of us that are actually looking at checking out since all this while, apart from the oil that most people are actually checking out, that maybe that should be the economy base of Nigeria. There are a lot of states that are actually rich aside the oil in Niger Delta, but what are they doing with all these resources? Nobody knows what they are doing with it. All we keep on hearing is the large amount of money that are being looted by these politicians in here in Nigeria. And you could see what Senator Ningi said in that video. A lot of things has actually been exposed in the house today, and a lot of fight and war has actually transpired in the house, and you will see that Akpabio do not have anything to offer Nigeria. The main point there is that Akpabio do not have anything to offer Nigeria. Just imagine that Peter Obi is now the president of Nigeria, and we now let us assume that Akpabio is the Senate president of Nigeria. And you see that a lot of things will be done, a lot of things will be perpetrated right under the nose of Peter Obi, and nobody will be able to save him, because at this present moment, Peter Obi will be caused by a lot of people here in Nigeria. And with everything that is actually happening in Nigeria, what Nigeria needs is the reconstruction of the Nigerian system, like what that man just said. But what is the way forward for Nigeria? With everything that is actually going on, Akpabio must go. And I will say it again, for Nigeria reconstruction system to actually take place, Akpabio needs to be removed as one of the politicians or one of the people that are running this present administration here in Nigeria. If you still believe that Tinubu is the main problem of this administration, then you are getting some of the points wrong. Tinubu may be contributing to the errors with the policy he is actually working with, which is actually having a negative turn, a bad turn on Nigerians presently, because the economy is worse. There's nobody that will be blamed than President Bola Ahmed TINUBU, because he's the head, he's the president of the country. For everything that actually happens in Nigeria, for every wrong decisions that is actually being made by this administration, the number one person that will be blamed in this administration is President Bola Ahmed TINUBU. And you see everything that senator said there. The man is actually ready for suspension, because he made mention of some senators that have already been suspended. The man is ready for suspension. And you see that the remaining senators could not say anything. They could not utter any word. Why? Because they are all there for their pocket interest. The interest of their pocket is their major aim. That is their major goal. The interest of Nigerians is nothing to them. It's actually nothing to them. That is the reason why you could see that a large number of them kept quiet there, saying nothing. And you will see that all these people will come out, they will campaign, they will tell you, please let us come and vote. They will come out and they will say that the Nigerians should vote then him as the senator of any of the zones in Nigeria. But at the end of the day, when they get to the chamber, they will be doing everything to get money into their pocket. I will continue to say it for every state in Nigeria. The politicians will keep on giving us their 7-point agenda, but at the end of the day, before the end of their tenure, their 7-point agenda will not be fulfilled. And when the next government should get there, they will start another government, leaving the previous agenda not yet done. That is the why Nigeria is dead already. Nigeria is finished already. And people, make sure you share your opinion at the comment section. Let us know what you feel about the present situation of Nigeria, with everything that Senator Ningi say in this video, and with every other thing that has actually happened in this video. And don't forget to share this video to every social media platform. If you cannot share, like it, give it a thumbs up so that YouTube will recommend it first. And if you are coming across this channel for the very first time, do well to click the red subscription button, and don't forget to click the bell icon so that YouTube will notify you anytime we drop another trendy video. See you in our next video. Bye for now.